Welcome to InfluenceSyc, where knowledge meets influence. Today, we're journeying deep into the heart of Africa, moving beyond myths and stereotypes to uncover the real story of Nigeria's royal bloodlines. This is a history of power, pride, and forgotten kingdoms that shaped West Africa long before any colonial borders were ever drawn. You've probably heard the phrase "the Nigerian prince" as an internet joke, a meme about online scams, but behind that stereotype lies a true legacy, a legacy of warriors, kings, and empires whose descendants still walk among us today. This is the real story of Nigeria's royal heritage. These are the real princes of Africa. Before the British ever set foot on the continent, the land we now call Nigeria was home to some of the most advanced and organized civilizations in the ancient world. In the north stood the Kanem-Bornu Empire, founded over 1,000 years ago. It was a kingdom that dominated trade routes across the Sahara, ruled by powerful Mai, or kings, and queens who commanded vast armies and centers of learning. To the west rose the Oyo Empire, renowned for its formidable cavalry and sophisticated strategic governance. Its ruler, Dilafin, was considered divine, the very heartbeat of a kingdom that stretched far beyond Nigeria's modern borders. In the east, the Nri kingdom flourished. This was one of Africa's oldest peaceful societies, where rulers led not through warfare, but through profound spiritual and moral authority. And in the Niger Delta, the Benin Empire thrived. They constructed complex city walls, some of which were 4 times longer than the Great Wall of China, and created breathtaking bronze artworks that left early European explorers completely in awe. Nigeria wasn't just a random collection of tribes, it was a sophisticated network of royal civilizations, interconnected by trade, culture, and ancient bloodlines. Royal blood ran deep through this land. These rulers were not just monarchs. They were guardians of knowledge, justice, and heritage. The Oba of Benin, the Emir of Kano, the Uni of Ife, and the Atta of Igala. These are titles that have survived to this day, each representing an unbroken, ancient lineage. For centuries, these royal houses managed complex societies, minted their own currencies, and traded gold, ivory, and art with nations as far away as Portugal and Arabia. They had established systems of diplomacy, organized armies, formal courts of law, and meticulously recorded written histories. But when colonialism arrived, this deeply rooted royal order was systematically dismantled. When the British came in the late 19th century, they saw Africa's powerful kings as obstacles to their control. So, they carved up their kingdoms, seized their lands, and reduced many of these once mighty royal houses to purely ceremonial roles. Some, of course, resisted. A powerful example is Oba Ovenramwen of Benin, who stood firm against the British invasion in 1897. In retaliation, his city was burned to the ground, its priceless treasures were looted, and the world-famous Benin bronzes were stolen. These are the same artworks that, for over a century, have been sitting in European museums. The British dismissed them as primitive art, but history knows them for what they are: masterpieces, crafted by the skilled artisans of a proud African kingdom. Over time, the true stories of real African princes and queens were buried under layers of colonial propaganda. Their names faded from textbooks, and their incredible achievements were either rewritten or completely erased from history. And yet, the bloodline survived, even today. Nigeria is home to over 250 distinct royal dynasties, from the Emirs in the north to the Obas and kings in the south. Some live quietly among their people, while others have become modern leaders, influential business figures, and prominent cultural icons. The descendants of the ancient dynasties of Oyo, Benin, Ife, and Sokoto still represent living, breathing links to Africa's magnificent royal past. Many young Nigerians are now discovering that they are connected to these noble lineages, sometimes without even realizing it. Because in Africa, royalty was never just about blood, it was about legacy. The internet transformed the Nigerian prince into a global joke about emails and financial scams. But the great irony is this: there were real princes, real empires, real wealth, and real global influence long before the colonial era even began. While Europe was still navigating its Middle Ages, powerful African empires like Kanem-Bornu, Oyo, and Benin were thriving. they were trading with Asia and the Middle East, building complex systems of governance, and commissioning art that the world still marvels at today. The real Nigerian princes were not scammers, they were scholars, warriors, and diplomats. Their legacy deserves to be remembered with respect, not mocked. Today, all across Africa, a new generation of historians, artists, and young creators are working to restore these powerful stories. Museums are beginning to return stolen artifacts, royal families are reclaiming their voices and their place in the narrative, and people are once again feeling proud to say, "We descend from greatness." The real princes of Nigeria were never lost. Their legacy lives on in every Nigerian who carries the spirit of resilience, intelligence, and royalty in their veins. The history of Nigeria isn't just about colonial scars or lines drawn on a map. It's a story of empires, royalty, and forgotten kings whose legacies shaped our world. So the next time someone makes a joke about a Nigerian prince, remember this: that title once belonged to the proud descendants of empires older than most of Europe itself. If you love uncovering hidden histories, exploring African heritage, and hearing untold royal stories, make sure you subscribe to InfluenceSyc. And don't forget to visit our Payhip bookstore to explore powerful books that spark curiosity, wisdom, and pride, including our No African History collections for both children and adults. You'll find the link in the description below. Thank you for watching.